Flosstube number 32. It has been just over 3 weeks, and I am now filming on a Monday, which is different because normally I film over the weekend. But we had a family weekend, and it means a lot of traveling for me because I live on the outsides of the Netherlands. So I decided to cash in on one of my leave days today, and so I have no work, but a little bit of an extra weekend day. So I thought, why not spend it talking about cross stitch and making a video for you. I'm Hanneke. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an avid cross stitcher. I love cross stitching. I have been doing a Flosstube now for over a year, for almost 2 years actually. So in about May, I've done it 2 years, and I can't believe I'm still going, and I still love it. I think it's absolutely lovely to be part of this community and just show you my progress and receive tips and lovely comments. My last video as well, I had such a nice reception on that video, and that was absolutely lovely. So thank you very much. Thanks to all those who are recurring, those of you who are subscribed. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I really do appreciate it. And again, it's lovely to be part of this community. And because you are subscribed, I can actually do that. So thank you. For those of you who are not yet subscribed, do watch the video, and if you enjoy it, please do hit that button. Right, let's get started. I have a cold, by the way. I've been properly sick. I think it was last weekend when I was properly sick. And I still have the cold, so the flu is gone. The cold is still there, and everyone around me says, yeah, well, this cold takes about 3 weeks. So I'm 2 weeks in. So yeah, hopefully I'm getting there. I do get a bit short of breath at times, so I might start and stop and start this video here and there, just so I can catch my breath. Because I have a lot to show you. Even though it's only been 3 weeks, I do stitch a lot. Like I said, I've been sick. Now, when I'm sick, when I'm properly sick, I look at patterns. And so we have a few new starts. But when I'm on the mend, I stitch a lot. So I've done that. Yeah, so let's dive in. Let's start with my teacup. I always show you a teacup. I collect Royal Albert teacups, and only from Royal Albert. There are plenty others. They are also very pretty, but I live very small, so I have to make a decision. And the decision is only Royal Albert and only what they call the lady cups. This time I want to show you the Evesham cup and saucer from the Rosedale series. So this is a series, and I might have already shown you the blue one once, because I have this one in blue and I have this one in yellow. And obviously I would love all the colors. I'm pretty sure they have it in pink and in green. And I hope to find all the colors one day. But for now I have a yellow one and I have a blue one. And it's absolutely stunning. No, don't remember where I got this one from. No idea. I usually get it from either a market or from the little shop near my house who sells this stuff. Or I find it somewhere online. I don't know. And then this is the saucer that comes with it. So pretty. I love those yellow sections. That's quite different on this cup. For those of you who are interested, this is the series. It's the Rosedale series by Royal Albert. So that is what I will be drinking my tea out of today. There we are. Like I said, I have Fully finished. Let's start with those, shall we? I also have an announcement of a giveaway, this one, the Dinky Dies. And my 30th Flosstube is about Het Garenhuis, which is a shop in Belgium. And I do a shop tour. And they have contacted me and sent me 2 charts as a giveaway for all of you. So one of those charts I will be giving away today. So stay tuned. Let's start with my fully finishes. I had started a little one by Shannon Christine, and I finished it. It's a teacup with roses, and this is a very cheap little frame from Action, and I thought that was very, very cute. It didn't take long to stitch, and it's pretty colors. It's a teacup, it has roses in it. Who doesn't want to stitch that? I did not use any of the specialty flosses. I think she uses Kryneck for some sections. I've just substituted with a DMC. So cute, isn't it? This is part of her club. So if you're not part of her club, you can't get to this pattern yet. She might post it later on. Then yesterday, well, actually a few days ago, I thought I'd like to make some lavender bags um, as presents, because when I was still card making, whenever someone was feeling poorly or they were stressed out or whatever, I would get one of my cards because I would have a million cards anyway, and I would give them a card. Since I've started stitching, I don't have anything to reach into that I can give to others when they are not feeling well or whatever. And so I thought, why don't I try to make a little lavender bag, because you can give that away with a little card. It's just sweet. And so I made this one. This is from a free pattern by Renato Parolin. I think that's an Italian designer. And I stitched this on, I thought it was 18, but when I was working on it, I think this is 16 count. And it is a free pattern that is on his website. So if you go to the website, there is a section free patterns. And if you scroll down, they have this one in 4 colors. And then I picked completely different colors. So I think there's 2 greens that are from As Charted. Then the pinks I chose just for 3 pinks that I liked. It's very simple. You just choose 3 colors with different shading. And then I put lavender in this. So it smells lovely. It smells lovely. And then the back, I put a little heart, which also is from a free pattern from Renato Paulin. It's just one heart in one of the patterns. So it's tiny, and then I sewed it together by hand. So I did it as we do the Biscornus. And that does take a long time, to be fair. But this would be lovely to give away, wouldn't it? With a little tag that said "Feel better soon" or something. So I would love that. So I might make a few more of these and then just have a bowl of stuff like this that I can just give out when I feel someone needs a little pick me up. So yeah. And this is a quick stitch. I did this yesterday afternoon, a couple of hours, and it's done. And you could, if you wanted to spend a little less time, you could take out the bottom circle thing. You could take out both of those and just stitch the flower pot with the flowers. You could do that. And it's only tiny. It smells lovely. So that's my little finish. Hope to make more of those. This is my fully finish of February. I was going to start with March. It had been sent, it had been posted, and then after 2 weeks I still didn't receive anything, so I contacted the shop, which is ikborduur.nl, and she explained to me that every pattern that she posted from March had not been received. So she had reordered them, and once she has them, she'll send them out. So I'm behind officially. I don't mind. I don't mind. But I have done January and I have done February. And I think these are very cute finishes. I just finished them as the pillow that I normally do. I usually have this at the back to cover my cutting. But yeah, it's lovely. I love this. So that one's done too. Then when I was sick, I decided to put all my whips on the floor and have a look at them. So I just looked at all of them and decided to discontinue 4 of them. 2 of them I'd recently started. I think I showed them to you last time. And I will restart those, but with different fabric or with different floss. So those have been stalled for now. And then I discontinued one, which I didn't like the colors of. I like the pattern. I will stitch it, but with different colors. And I like the colors too, but I want to use it for different stuff. And then this one. This was Blue Horizon by UB Design. And I decided I'd stitched enough blue flowers. I was done with it and discontinued it. But then I said to myself, there's no reason why I shouldn't enjoy it. And I made it into a long pillow. And I think this is lovely. This is absolutely lovely. It is stitched on sort of modeled vintage country mocha, I think. And it is from Casa Senina. I put these little butterflies on. There's little wooden thingies. Not sure what brand. If you're interested in it, I can get it. I can check it for you. Just leave a comment. And I'm pretty sure I got those from het Garenhuis in Belgium. Isn't that pretty? So I should have had some more flowers on this side, but I don't. I've also not stitched any of the birds or butterflies. I felt that wasn't very nice. So it's just the blue flowers, but I like it like this. And I've had it on my sort of like a cupboard shelf, and I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm okay with having abandoned this stitch and instead making it into this lovely pillow. I'm happy with that. It's got a lovely background fabric. And I had a strip that was exactly this size. So I thought, this is perfect. It was meant to be. So yeah, I'm happy with this one. The little butterflies, I glued them on because I'd love to make them, do them with thread and sew them on. But I also want to use that stuff that you iron on at the back to make it a bit more sturdy. And that means sewing with it is more difficult. So I've glued them on with just a tiny little bit of glue. They might very well fall off at one point. But isn't that cute? It was an 18 count Ada and stitched with the called for flosses. And I like it. I think they also have the flowers in red, and I got the blue packet. And I'm very happy with this finish. Then last time I showed you Reflets de Soie with their Escapade Hollandaise. I have no idea if I'm saying it right, but that's how I read it in my head. And I decided to start one of the smaller ones. So there are 6 Dutch scenery patterns in there. And there are 3 smaller ones and 3 bigger ones. And I started with one of the smaller ones. And I have fully finished it. I ran through it basically. I loved it. It is stitched on 20 count with the Soie d'Alger 1 strand. So it's stitched with silk. And I have done a sort of a in between finishing because I put it in this frame. It's a 3-part frame. So obviously you'll understand that the other 2 small ones I will also stitch. I will put them in the other 2. But I've already put this one in here because I think this, I'm so sorry about the glare, but isn't that an absolutely lovely little piece? It is stitched with about 5 colours, not about, with 5 colours, and obviously the dark blue, and then some lighter blues, and then white. And it is just, when you're stitching it sometimes, you think, what am I stitching? Because it seems to be just a blob, and then you put it away and you walk away and you come back and you think, oh, it was going to be a boat. So yeah, I think this is so pretty. It is stitched on beige, and like I said, a 20 count. So it's very small and fiddly. But because it's just one strand and it's silk, it doesn't get bulky. It's fine. Again, sorry about the glare, but I always frame it with the glass. I did make a change on this, that I bought this in Action, from Action, and the wooden panel um, is normally on front of the glass, and I put the wooden panel in between the glass and the stitching, just to protect the stitches basically. Isn't that pretty? I love that. I loved stitching it. I love the size, so it can be a quick finish. I did do a lot of stitching on it, I have to be honest. I think for about a week, every morning, I was stitching on this piece. And when I just started, I wasn't sure, and then I kept going, and I thought I wasn't still wasn't sure. But as I kept going, it just happened, and now I think it's so pretty. It's like Delft's Blauw, which is very, very Dutch, obviously. So I will stitch the other 2 small ones and add them in here, and I will also stitch the bigger ones, but I don't know what to do with that yet. But this is a perfect fit for this frame. And as you can see, the further you go away, the more detailed it looks. If you go very close up, it can be a bit abstract, if you will. Isn't that pretty? And Swadelge, my favorite floss ever. My favorite floss ever. I could stitch with that all day, every day, and be a happy bunny. I just wanted to let you know that I've been contacted last week by 2 different companies for a sponsorship of my channel. And they're quite big companies, and they want to send you their stuff, and they want you to use their stuff, and then they want you to every video do a 60-minute ad or something on it, or they want you to do an extra using their stuff. And I've decided not to do that because I've decided that I prefer to support the smaller shops and the one-man band shops that I think in cross stitching exist a lot. And we need those shops because that's where we get our supplies from. We need designers who just do it on the side rather than those very big shops. So I've decided not to promote any people like that. But I would like to share with you Atelier Sudi Day. I've ordered from them now several times, and I usually order my floss there or my fabric, and sometimes a pattern, but usually it's fabric or floss, such as Swadelge. And every time you receive it in a red envelope, and you receive it with a little present. And I just wanted to show you the presents because I think that's where they stand out. So they send you a floss drop, and it's simple, but it's so cute and sweet and pretty. And we can always use one of those. And then they also send you this, which is again a floss card with all those different holes, with such a pretty picture on the front. And I just wanted to share that with you because I think when you're doing an order with a small shop like that, I would be quite happy just to receive my order. But to receive all these little things with it is just absolutely lovely. And then I received something from Merkwaardig. And one of you already once commented and asked me if I knew Merkwaardig, which is like a guild, I guess, for stitching. And I'm not a member of it yet. I might be in the future. And they added this in, and it just has all the counts. So how many crosses do you do per count? It has a little centimeter band. So that's just a lovely little present to have, really. And I just wanted to show you this. Then added to that, they put this time it was fabric, and they put it on this board, and it is quite thick and very, very sturdy. So it would be perfect to finish a piece on. So that's 4 things I received extra from a small online shop where I purchased some floss and some fabric. So I do want to promote that rather than the big shops that offered the money. I think this is much more what we love, isn't it? It's lovely to receive a package and have all those little lovely extras. So that's that. And that was lovely to receive. Right. I have 2 more finishes. One of those is massive, and I am very, very proud of them. The first one is this one, and I want to make this into a book sleeve. I haven't done that yet, but I will. I'm sorry about the creasing. This one has quite a stubborn crease in the middle of it, because I've ironed this a few times, but it keeps popping up. Isn't that pretty? Read the books and stitch the things. And I got this from Etsy. Isn't that lovely? I love the colors. I normally do not work with colors like this. I don't often work with blue, not with that golden color, but I love this. I didn't make many changes. I just swapped the color of the words to a brighter, rather than gray, I used sort of a pinkish. And I put my own initials and the year in the book. Other than that, it is completely as charted. And it says needlework, and on the other side it says literature. Isn't that lovely? I really enjoyed this stitch. I find that I really like band samplers. I find that so meditative to stitch. This border was absolutely lovely to do, that one, the sort of golden border. Absolutely lovely stitch. And those red flowers at the top, just lovely. Beautiful blue. Was it 712? Might be. It just pops up the fabric, and this is parchment. Parchment is a fabric that I have quite a few of, but I find it difficult to find something on it that I like. And this is just perfect. These colors go perfect on parchment. And I will make this into a book sleeve one day, but not today. Yeah, I love it. Love this piece. It's an 18 count, 2 strands of floss. Now I know some of you prefer 1 strand on 18 count. I think that covers okay as well, but I like on 18 count a thick. Yeah, I almost want to see the stitches lying on top of it, and that's what happens when you use 2 strands. Read the books and stitch the things. Such a sweet pattern. She has plenty more that are pretty, but they are usually related to some sort of book. And I don't necessarily like that book, so but I like her style of designing a lot. So that's that one done. Love, love, love. And then I genuinely, we need to put some drums underneath this bit because I deserve it. I think I've stitched on this for a year and 9 months. I looked it up. And I think for about 9 months to a year, I did not stitch any of it. So it was just lying in my whip pile, and I wasn't sure whether I would ever get back to it. But lately, I've been picking it up. I've been working hard on it. And I had 500 stitches to do. And I did those on a Sunday after I'd been sick. Um, I was still a little bit sick, but I just really wanted to finish this book. And I did. I have finished it. All done. I can't believe it. And when I finished this, I have to say it felt like I had so much room to start new pieces because for some reason this thing took up a lot of space in my head. Um, because it's difficult stitching, you can see all the colors. It has numerous colors in. It is a mini. So when you have a mini with so many colors, it is bound to be confetti. And I've learned that the hard way. This is from Artisy, and they have many minis. I have bought two other ones that could be companion pieces with this one because they were on sale. And one of you was kind enough to point that out to me. So I did go over there and I did buy it. So thank you for the push. But I won't start it today or tomorrow. But I probably will start it because I did enjoy this stitch, even though it was difficult and it was really challenging me. It's pulling a little bit at the top. That is from the tension, obviously, that I've put on it with all those colors. So I hope with framing they can pull that out a little bit. Although with framing I will go for a black, we say passepartout, don't know how you say it, but sort of like the black border and then a black frame. So you won't see any of the whites. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm so pleased with this. And in spots where there was a lot of confetti, you can see it's pulling a little bit, you know. The stitches don't lie as neatly as they do on, for instance, this one where it's all very neat. Um, this was my first heavy confetti piece. It was the first piece I've ever done parking on. So yeah, I've really challenged myself, and I think it's come out nice. It's on 16 count white Ada. I would never ever stitch a piece like this on anything smaller than that. You could easily go to 14 count with this because it's so much confetti, but it is pretty. I really love this. So that one's done, and that's been lying in my pile for a long time. And because I only stitch on this when I really have the time for it, that means that it's yeah, it takes a little bit longer anyway. Yeah, love it. I worked hard on this and I'm very proud of it. So this is a massive, massive finish, and it does provide some room in my head for other things. When I um, have this frame, because I've decided to have this framed, I will put it in my bedroom because my bedroom is a white basically. I have a rental house, and it's completely painted white, and I'd love some color in there, and this will be perfect. So that's where this is going. And framing, I will take it to Garenhuis, but I do want this one framed with glass. Um, so I think they do that, but I'm not entirely sure, so I have to ask. Anyway, that left a lot of room, like I said, for new starts. So I started three new things, and one of them is such a new one that I'm not even going to show you. But two of them I am going to show you. And this is the first one. This is a Biscornu because I like stitching Biscornus, and I I like having some small um, projects in between the big ones because I have quite a lot of big ones. And so this designer is from Etsy. And please look in my description box who it is exactly. Um, because she has a lot of biscornus and they're all very bright and flowery and pretty. And she does do black work as well as cross stitch. Now this one is only cross stitch and it is a spring. I call it a spring flower. I think it's called differently, but yeah, I call it spring flower. I've given it my own name. But it's a lovely biscornu. This is the front top, obviously, and I have to still stitch the other side, um, which I will do one day. It's not very big. These are very small. So they become very small little pillows, which again could be a lovely giveaway to someone who's not feeling well. Um, to receive one of these little pillows would be lovely. So this person has a sale on, I think at the moment for 50%. So before the sale ends, I will buy a few more. And like I said, it's very nice to have something like this going. Yesterday, when I came back by train, I was tired from the family weekend. I um, just wanted to stitch something easy, and so I stitched this. And the colors, I love this color palette. It's sort of lovely soft greens and then salmon. And I stitched this on a 16 count. Is it 16 count? No, 18 count, sorry. And I do like, same with this one, I do like putting it together. I find that very meditative and easy. And it is one of the only finishes where I have a perfect back. So, it's worth it. It does take a little bit of time, but it's relaxing and nice. So I love this one. Loved, loved, loved this one. Colors are so pretty. So yes, I will make a lovely biscornu out of that. Now let me just have a little sip of tea before I show you my next start. Because I was looking for something related to peace because the world is a mess. I don't know about you, but I find it quite worrying, everything that's happening. And I wanted to stitch something that would allow me to meditate on peace and pray on it and think on it. And I couldn't find anything. And then I thought, well, never mind, I'll just stitch whatever. And I arrived at the Modern Folk Embroidery website and I just looked through it and found this pattern. I thought, I love that, love it. Why not just start it? I'd finished my artisty one and I thought I have room for a big one. So I'm gonna start a big one. And I started this one, which is I've forgotten the full name. It's something with a dove. And it's older, an older piece. And I opened the description, and he usually has sort of a text that explains a little bit on the pattern. And it said, a dove is often related to peace. And I thought, well, there you go, that's full circle. It was meant to be. So I'm stitching my piece on piece, and I'm loving it. It is on a picture. I think it's sort of a bluish background. I have a gorgeous, lovely brown, and I'm stitching it with cream swadelge. So I'm stitching it on 20 count, one strand of cream swadelge. It's very similar to my lamp shade. It's 4102. 4102. And this is a piece. Let me just find the right board. This piece is just a treat. It's just a treat. I've stitched on it twice. I'm running through it because this goes really quickly. I think I've already done about 800 stitches and I've not done that long on it. It's obviously one color. it's fine. This was a gift, by the way. This lovely teacup by one of the viewers, and I love this little teacup as a needle minder. So there you go. It's holding, like I said, I was working on it this morning, so I've left the thread. But isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? I think it is a stunning design. And I can't wait to continue on this. It is quickly become one of my absolute favorites in my current whip pile. I think it's because it's easy, but I think it was Sarah from Sarah Stitchy Spot who said something like um, the pattern looks so difficult and intricate, but it's not difficult to stitch, but you still get this result, and isn't that beautiful? So I'm very pleased to have started this one, and the size didn't scare me at all. I was quite happy, and I can't wait. My mum really loves this one, so I won't be surprised if I have this frame because this will also be framed professionally. Um, it will go to her place for a little while and she can enjoy it. Isn't that stunning? Coverage is fantastic on 20 count with one strand. And I love soie d'Alger. Love it. Absolutely love it. And this color of fabric, I've had it. It's from het Garenhuis in Ghent. I've had this one for I don't know how long. Um, and I always thought I love that color. I just don't know what to do with it. So yeah, everything's coming together, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. I can't wait to continue on this one. I can't wait to finish this one. But then again, I quite enjoy stitching on it, so I'm quite happy to do that for a little bit longer. So that's a new start, and I'm very, very pleased indeed. Talking about Sarah Stitchy Spot, she invited me to join her Sunday. She does sort of a Zoom call with some of her viewers, and she invited me as a guest on there. And I was so honored, first of all, and I thought, oh, they're not gonna know me, and they're not gonna, you know, care much. So I was a bit worried. But I went over there. I was an hour late. I felt terrible about that. I'd done the time conversion from what she sent me, and I thought I'd done it correctly. But I was an hour off apparently. Anyway, I had an hour, just over an hour with the group, and it was lovely to meet them. Some of them watched my channel. There were other Flosstubers there, so I had a blast really, and it flew past. It was so quick. So I really enjoyed it, and I think when I went to Jingle Balls, I end up didn't not doing the what's it called, speed dating and stuff because I felt a bit weird. But I think this really helped me to not make it feel weird because it was really lovely. And people were very welcoming and very kind, and they were great stitchers, obviously. They had some of the most stunning pieces behind them, so that was fun. So if you were there, I loved meeting you, and thank you again, Sarah, for inviting me. It was absolutely lovely. Let's do my giveaway winner. And I just have to look on my phone if you all don't mind, because I made a picture of the one who won it. I thought I did anyway. Where is it? There we are. So quite a lot of you were happy to receive these two. One is sort of pink in different shades and blue, and one is green and blue. So I had the word fairy, and a lot of you put it in. And I am very happy to announce that this is going to Katja Stouthamer 4329. I think she's Dutch because she replies to my videos in Dutch. So, Katja Stouthamer 4329. Congratulations, these will be coming your way. Just send me an email and provide me with your postal address. And then I can post them to you somewhere this week or over the weekend. This will be coming your way. And I hope you will have a lovely purpose for it. And we thank Terry again for donating these all the way from Australia. It's absolutely lovely. So there you go. That's the Dinky Dies. And then I will do the new giveaway at the same time. Like I said, the ladies from het Garenhuis were kind enough. And I will take this out of the packet just to take away the glare. The ladies from het Garenhuis said that quite a lot of people contacted them or looked on their website or asked about a pattern. Someone visited from London who watched my Flosstube. And isn't that lovely? I love that. I think that's it's not that I was out to make that happen, but I'm very happy that that is the result of it and that people enjoyed what they saw. Because I still think it's a fantastic shop and they are doing a good job with it. So they have donated this pattern, a Jardin Privé, Floralis, which is obviously French, and I'm probably saying it wrong. I will use the word flower because I love my flowers. So I'll use the word flower. It's a paper pattern. It's like a booklet, and it's from Jardin Privé. Very, very pretty. It was a stitch along, I think, last year or the year before that. I'm not sure. Quite a lot of people stitched it. So some of you might already have this one. But if you don't and you would love to stitch this one, then this is gifted to you from het Garenhuis. And I'm just a middleman. Quite happy to be the middleman. It's very pretty. Very pretty. So use the word flower in your comments. And I will do the comment picker and then someone will receive it. There we go. That's the giveaway. And then we will have a look at my whips because I've also been stitching on whips. I have, I think about 6 whips here. And some has been more stitched on than others. This is Japanese Garden. Japanese Garden is, I'm back at all the confetti stitching. So I'm powering through. I'm at 65%. So I've gone from 50 to 65%. And I will just keep going. It's not too bad. It's not big. It's pretty. And I'd like to have this finished one day. So I will just keep going. But it does require a bit of perseverance. The colors are lovely to work with though. They're very soft colors. One of you commented and said, I can't really see your colors properly. Could you film with the light on the front? And I would love to do that. But my issue is that I have a small apartment and I have windows on over there, 3 big windows that look out on the harbour. So it's nice to have 3 windows there. Then I have sort of a window up here, so the light comes in from there. So I have light from all sides, except when I'm sat in the kitchen, in front of my kitchen. And I don't want to have my kitchen as my backdrop. So but that would be the only way to do that. So I've decided not to do that. I've not heard many complaints about the light. I am sorry though that it's difficult for you to see. Yeah. If ever I come up with a different way of setting up, I will do that. But at the moment, I don't have the place to do that. So right, this is Japanese Garden and I have made progress. I'm stitching it on 16 count, 18 count. I remember that because I should have done 16. Would be easier. Yeah. But hey ho, we'll just keep going. Then I stitched. Yesterday I was in a train and I left on Saturday morning and I quickly had to grab two pieces and I grabbed the Biscornu that I just showed you. And I thought I need another one that's just quick filling that I can do in a train. And I went through my whips and I came across this one. This is an oldie. This one I'd started over the summer. And this is called Summer by Marijolein Bastin. It's an old piece, like I said. It was in a magazine, Libelle, which is a women's magazine. And I had stitched a bit on it. But I had decided to completely change colors. So I have a very different looking piece from this, which I'm quite happy with. I just wanted to try it out because this has been stitched by basically everyone in the Netherlands because you see it everywhere when you go thrifting. It is often framed and it's always pretty. But I thought this exists everywhere, so why don't I put my own twist on it? So I want to make some color changes. I don't want to change the color palette, so I'm stitching with the colors. I'm just putting them in different places, basically, here and there. So, and I'd done this bit, but all of this needed filling in, and then some of this needed filling in. And I thought, you know what, this is quite an easy pattern. Why not stitch on this? So I did. I stitched on this, and I had quite fun. And I wasn't sure. This was one of the pieces where I wasn't sure, am I going to continue it or am I going to stop it? And I decided to continue it. Glad I did. So I've done a bit of the blue fill-in, and excuse the thread, I'm still filling in. And I've done the flower there, and I filled in the yellow stripes. So the difference with the pattern is this has sort of a yellowish lines. So the borders in this bit are all dark yellow corn color. I've chosen green instead. Then the bottom area here is also a very light yellow. And I have chosen blue instead. And we'll just see how it goes really. This section I will do as charted because it will have a lovely light green, which I think will go perfectly in my piece as well. And then I will stitch this section here as well. So that will be the same. So on this lower section, the changes will be the green and the blue. And then when I go up, I will probably change the colors of this. I will change the colors of these sections on the side. But we'll see. We will see. I will stitch this section as charted. I won't change anything there. I'm considering changing the color of the butterfly because I now have a blue bottom row. So it might be a little bit too much blue. So I might want to change the color of that butterfly into yellow instead, for instance, to pull it all together. When I was doing the Zoom call, one of the ladies there, she said, "How do you do it with all your color changes?" And I still don't know. I keep thinking about that question. How do I do that? I don't know how I do that. That was my answer then as well. I just look at it and I think, oh, that'd be nice. But I do have to see it in my head. If I don't see it in my head, I don't do it. So if I can see it in my head and it looks nice, then that's what I do. I do think that colors come in groups, and I try to stick with the group. So if you have a pastel group, and you have a sort of main color, hard color group. So yeah, I do try to keep that in mind. Yeah, it just I don't know. And I sometimes it goes horribly wrong and I don't like it. So with this one, it's quite safe because I like the color palette, and her pattern has shown that the color palette works. So I'm not changing the palette, I'm just changing the accent here and there of colors. So my accent at the bottom here is not as yellow. For hers, it's very yellow. For me, it isn't. So yeah, it's just trying it out really. And if this piece fails, I'm fine with that. I don't mind. I just like trying it and seeing what happens. So we'll just continue. I think it will be lovely. I quite like the green instead of the yellow corn color. And I'm quite happy with the blue as well. I find it quite fresh. Yeah. So that's that one. It's stitched on 18 count with 2 strands of DMC. And then a piece that I stitched on when I was sick because this was easy. And from the moment I could stitch a bit again, I grabbed this one and I kept going basically. Because this is easy. This is Abaresque by Jan Hicks. And I have finished this circle thing, sorry, that one. Then I started the border up here. I stitched the M, I stitched the K and the L and this little key. I think it's stunning, this piece. And it'll just get prettier and prettier. Absolutely lovely. I love Jan Hicks pieces sometimes. I find that very interesting. She has such a range of different styles that she's designed. And this one I love. There is a sampler that I love. There is all the lace pieces. But then there are others that I would never stitch. And so I find that very interesting that one person can have such a creative mind that in her design she can go anywhere, basically. I like that. I am using a slightly different color, slightly, I think she is going for the 498. I'm using the 814, 816, not sure. And obviously I'm stitching it on Muga, 20 count and 1 strand of floss. I love that little bird there as well. So pretty. And this was a lot of stitching, a lot of stitching. It's a big old motif. And those letters are so pretty. So yeah, I'm loving this one. And when I was sick, this was perfect, absolutely perfect to stitch on. Then I have a mini finish or sub finish. I'm stitching Love, Hope, and Faith, of course. And I'm stitching them in a row. This is from Summerhouse Stitche. See, I'm terrible with all of this, so look in my description box. And these are quite well known, really. And I have them as a paper pattern. I have changed the colors. The paper shows blue and gold. So the pattern is blue and gold. I have gone for green and pink. And I quite like my change. Now the pink is barely showing up on the screen. It's coming a little bit there. It's oh, there you go. It's a bit better. I really enjoy these colors. I like my color change. I said last time, I think you're not seeing exactly the colors as they are. This is better as they are. Pink is quite pink. I have to be honest. So if I would have to redo it, someone contacted me and said I've gone for those greens and then raspberry color. I might have preferred that as well. But yeah, I'm quite happy with this one. I think it is pretty, and I've started the next one. So it's faith, hope, and love. So I'm doing hope at the minute. And I think that's less stitching for Hope. When I hold it like this, it's almost like the camera can't really manage the pink in between. There you go. Maybe it's my eyes that can't see it on the screen. I don't know what it is. It's on 18 count, 2 strands of floss. So again, the stitches lie on top of it. And I love that. Especially, it's not full coverage, so you have room to have a little thicker stitching. And it almost stitches like a band sampler because you stitch in the row color, basically. And I think the color, um, the rows are the same for each pattern. So I've done the green here, and now the next one is the pink. So I will continue with pink up there. Yeah, I think this is lovely. I'm very happy I've decided to put it together rather than stitching them apart. They'd be quite big pillows, you know. This is my hand. That would be the pillow. It's quite big. So yeah, I think this is better as a fully stitched piece. And I think it was Welcome Stitchery who showed the full piece already stitched up. And that's in the charted colors. So blue and gold. Happy. I love stitching this one as well. Love it. Then I decided to stitch a lot on my Abaresque. No, Pastorale. Sorry, I've done Abaresque. This is Pastorale. And I started this one for my birthday. Don't think I'm going to make my next birthday on this one for a finish, but I have done one of the sections. So it is basically one side, it has a middle scenery, and then another side that's basically this, but then mirrored. I've done one side, and I'm very proud of that. I think it is very, very pretty. It's very much the old Berlin style of stitching. Very lovely. Lots of color changes, but I think at some point I had a rhythm with it and I sort of knew how to make way um, without constantly changing my floss. So I found sort of a pattern in it. I found a pattern in the pattern, and I kept on going. And I think this is turning out very, very pretty. Talking about old Berlin style, I went to the Cross Stitch Museum in Barneveld and I wasn't sure what to expect. So I just went there and I asked in advance, can I film if I like it? Can I make pictures for my Flosstube? And they were all happy with that. I didn't. I made a few pictures. I didn't film. I think it is a lovely place to visit for people who love cross stitching. Um, and there were quite a few visitors there actually. I did I think there were two downsides. One is that the full upstairs has poor lighting. So it's in a barn conversion, and obviously a barn doesn't have many windows. So there are sections where there's no natural light. So that doesn't help with pieces like this. And another thing is that um, I felt that it was all quite dated. So it's beautiful, but there was nothing because it was a museum. I thought they will have some reference towards the newer things, like different designers, different fabrics, different flosses, um, stitching with silk, like the soie d'Alger. And the lady that walked me around kept saying, "Well, people keep talking about stitching with silk, but we don't stitch with silk anymore." And they had some stunning pieces in silk, by the way. But I thought, when you're museum, it would be nice if you would incorporate sort of the newer developments in cross stitch, and that includes silk threads, and that includes different kinds of designs, Etsy. Etsy is, I think, a great platform that has really helped us to become whatever we are now as a community. So yeah, so I thought that was missed opportunity, I guess. Yeah, would be nice to have that in the museum. But then there were stunning pieces, some from Sail Amsterdam, which is an event, and those massive sailboats were stitched. And if I can put a picture in, I will. Um, so yeah, there were plenty pretty pieces, but it is all quite dated. So if you go, that's what you can expect. The ladies there were absolutely lovely, happy to explain anything, and obviously very proud of their collection and what they were doing. And so they should be, really. Last but not least, Moon Deer, because I can't not stitch on this piece for 3 weeks, can I? So I've continued stitching on the top. So this is the whole piece. And I have stitched purple flowers with a bit of greenery, and I have then stitched, I don't know what this is, whether it's little bells or whatever. It has green leaves going through it. So that's next. Um, but I didn't want to take this with me in the train. I don't think that would work. But so that's why I stopped. Isn't that pretty? 20 count ivory Ada, and I have my converted. Is it converted? No, that's a different word. I made my own conversion with the Weeks Dye Works, and I think it's beautiful. I see so many versions of this also on Facebook, and it's always different. And I'm quite happy with the choices I've made when it comes to the colors. I think the ivory is perfect. I think the Weeks Dye Works floss is beautiful for this, and it comes out really, really nice. I love the green as well. I love that I now get a bit more green and purple up there because obviously I'm stitching that flower section, but I have decided to sort of go up now and then go up like this because otherwise I will have to crumple because I stitch in hand. So I hold the fabric on this side, and if I stitch this section, I'll be crushing it. So I've decided to go up and then sort of stitch up. So I don't have to hold my own stitching in my hand basically and roll it up and hold it tight. Don't we love this piece? I do anyway. I do. Love, love, love. I saw that our Forest Embroidery, this is from them. They have so many stunning pieces. If I had all the time in the world, I would stitch all their pieces. I think they are so pretty. They have a few new ones out. So, so beautiful. Yeah, if I had the time, I would be stitching all of their stuff. Absolutely. Right. Last but not least, a little bit of haul. Second hand and first hand. First hand, I decided to buy One Tiny Town. I like the Nativity, which is from Nashville. Um, I'd love to stitch that one. But I also saw this one. I saw this one from Sudi Day, I think. And it's Blooming Tiny Town. And I thought, why not just try it? Because I've looked at those tiny towns now a million times. Why not just get it? And then I can make a pin run because I also want to make a few more pin runs. And not a few more. I've never made a pin run. I would like to make a pin run. So that's this one. I'm going to try that with this one. It is charted in classic colorworks. I don't have that, and a bit of Weeks Dye Works. I have some of that, but I think I will either go with a conversion of my stash of fancy flosses, so I will pick my own colors, or I will pick the DMC. But I think I will go for just picking my own colors here and there. I also like the um, sea Tiny Town and the Anytime Tiny Town. So there are quite a few more that I really like. So we'll see. We'll see how much I enjoy this one, and then we'll go from there. Then I found this one online. It was only €1, and it's from Zweigart. And it has it has this in. There's one in the back, and then you can make all the other patterns from whatever design is on there. And I saw this one. I like that. I like the sampler in the back. I would love to stitch that with red. Yeah, that'd be very pretty. So I've considered starting that sampler because it's so pretty. But yeah, we'll see. So it has different pieces in. You can make little pillows with it. And it was only €1. And I thought, well, that'll be fine. And like I said, I might stitch that sampler because I think it's very pretty. Having said that, I'm going to ask for your help. I was almost going to forget it. I would love to stitch JBW Designs Rose Motif Sampler. And it is one from, I don't know, 2013, 2012, something like that. It's quite an oldie. And it is a very pretty, dainty, with little roses and an alphabet, I think. And I think it is so pretty. I would love to stitch that. But I've checked everywhere. I've checked the shops in the Netherlands. I have contacted at Garenhuis if they could order it anywhere. They said their supplier doesn't have it anymore. I have checked Casa Senina, which is sort of our 1, 2, 3 stitch in Europe. They don't have it anymore. I can't seem to get it. So if there's anyone watching who could send it to me, I'm happy to pay for it. That's not the problem. So I'm happy to make an arrangement for that. But I would just love to stitch that piece. So yeah, if anyone can help me out, I would be very, very happy with that. And again, I'm happy to pay for the expenses. That'd be no problem at all. So yeah, and this one reminded me a little bit of that one. It's very much that sort of French style stitching, one color, and I like that French style. I want to stitch a bit more in that. I think that's lovely, and you can do that in very soft tones, and you can do it in bright red. And then going from that, I found this book. This was a lucky thing. You know, I love my thrifting. This book everywhere is being sold for, I don't know, €25 or something. And someone put it on Vinted, which is an online marketplace, for only 8. I don't know why, but it's completely new. Feels like she bought it and then thought, you know what, this is not for me, and put it online. And it is for me. I love this. Obviously, my letter is H, so I would love to stitch letter H and make it into a project bag or something. That'd be lovely. It's so delicate and fancy. I would love to stitch that. Then there's also a sampler in here that I would love to stitch. It's a very modern sampler, this one. How pretty is that? How pretty is that? I saw this one, I fell in love with it. So I would love to make that one as well. And then my last name is W, begins with W, so that's the W. So this would be lovely. That's another sampler that's in here. So how pretty is that? It's by Isabella Harcourt Vautier. Sorry, again, I am not very good in French, um, but she has a lot of beautiful designs. She has a website where you can get all these patterns separately as well. Not sure if they are PDF or regular, This is another beautiful one. Beautiful. Love this one. So yeah, this I will stitch more from her. And I don't think did I see this designer at Herrenhuis? I'm not sure. But she also designs, I think, for magazines and stuff. So yeah, do check her out because she has a full um, library basically of all her designs, and it is so worth having a look at. So it's Isabella uh, something Harcourt Fortier. Absolutely beautiful. She charted it with a floss that I do not have, and I will probably just use DMC, or I will get a pretty variegated red somewhere. It's from Saju. I don't know. It's probably French thread. Absolutely stunning book, and I'm very happy to add that to my collection. And she has more books than just this one. It's she has done a lot. So yeah, happy with that. And that is everything. And I thought I was going to have about 45 minutes, but we are again at an hour and 11 minutes. And I've done it all quite quickly. So yeah, I have not shown you my reproduction. I have stitched on it. I am stuck on a color now. I don't know what to do, which color to choose. And I'm finding that it is paralyzing me a little bit. So I've put it away for a bit, and then in a couple of weeks I will grab it again and I will have another look at it. So I just need a little break from it. And I need to stop making. Oh, it's actually right here. I could show you very, very quickly. So I've done a bit more stitching on it, but I'm stuck on the red of the main flower. So I stitched part of it in the bright red in the 3-2-1. And then as I looked again on the picture, I thought, no, it's not that. It's more orangey. So I went back to my 3-5-0, but I'm not sure if that's it either. It looks too orangey. So I don't know what to do. So I'm going to leave it for a little bit and come back to it at some point. There's no rush anyway. I don't have to have this finished. I can just have a little think on the color and then come back to it. So that is what I will do. So that's my Flosstube. Thank you all very, very much for watching. If you've made it this far, I appreciate the time. I appreciate spending time. I enjoy the comments a lot, so feel free to leave me a comment. Feel free to leave the word flower for the pattern if you would like to receive this. And that's that. I hope to be back in about 3 weeks with another Flosstube. I'm working on something else, so you might see something pop up in the next week or two. I said that last time, but then I got sick, so that didn't happen. But maybe, hopefully, the next coming weeks. And I look forward to seeing you all again. So have a lovely week, and till next time.